Hey, it's Madmaxed again with a raid video. Okay, if you would, please hit the subscribe button in the corner. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. And remember, if you have any questions, just write them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you. Now, everybody in my clan will ask me all the time, how did I gear this champ up? And they'll never say, well, how I want to use this champ. And that depends on how you're going to use, that depends on how you're going to gear it. It's got everything in the world to do with that. Now, it's just like I've got Warcaller up. Warcaller is in my Clan Boss team. She's in a Stalwart set. That's to keep that 30% AoE damage off. Now, sure, I can put a regen set on. It would work for the first 25, 30 rounds or so pretty well. But after that, it's not going to work because he start doing a lot more damage with those AoE attacks. And yeah, he's got 80,000. She's got 80,000 hit points on her. Well, but the clan boss on those AoE attacks can do when they're up like 45, 50, like that. They're doing like 60,000 or more worth of damage. Well, that's going to give you that stalwart gear is going to give you 30% off of that. So if you're doing 60 or 70,000 points worth of damage, that's negating 21,000 or 18,000 points worth of damage. But in the meantime, the stalwart gear is only healing you for 15%. Well, the 15% of 80,000 is only 12,000 points. So you're losing more HP by having it on. And you may say, well, but you got to heal back up. Well, I've got a healer with bad L that's giving 30% every round. And usually they're cycling through like at least a 3 to 2 cycle, so they're getting about 45% heals out of that. Now, used to, I didn't have her booked out. So I had to use Taragi. And Taragi is a really good allied protect champ too. And I like Taragi. It's a great champ to have if you don't have Warcaller, because Warcaller is a void legendary. Extremely hard to get. I got lucky and snagged him or her. Taragi is a really good epic champ, probably one of the best epic champs in the game. And there are reasons why this champ to me is at least in my top three, if not the top champ as far as epics. He works really good in Clan Boss. The reason is because he's got that allied protect that he throws. He throws a shield on himself. He shows a reflect damage of 30%. When he gets attacked, he poisons the attacker. He can sit down and do a provoke. I've used him in Doom Tower. I've used him everywhere just about. I've never used him in Arena because usually Arena is just a really fast team. You're going to nuke something and get it over with. I mean, that's the way most really good Arena teams are built. There are a few exceptions now because there are some defensive teams that can actually survive through all those nuking attacks. But you have to have the very right champs with the very right gear, and it takes a lot to build those. So he is really good. But now I've got a video about him, and when I got him out of Clan Boss, if you'll notice, he has on regen set and immortal set. And his skill allows him to heal himself by 40% every 3 rounds. And he applies that shield, that reflect damage. And you would think, well, 40% of his HP every 3 rounds, as much HP and much defense as you got, he should be able to get through just about anything. But he can't. He can't get through Scarab King without this gear on. I've got a video about him going through this. But he killed Scarab King in Doom Tower hard at the very last one in about 10 or 11 minutes. And that's incredible. I mean, he's incredibly fast about killing Scarab King. On the normal one, he kills it in about 5 or 6 minutes. He breezes through it. You can honestly just put trash in there, all Like on the normal ones, you can put like 4 1-star, level 1 characters in there just to level up with him. And he can just walk through, kill everything in the path, get to the Scarab King. It's a little slower, and I usually put at least enough stuff in there to speed it up a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. You can just put it on auto, let it level up those characters, and you can go through with him, and he does great. He's an excellent character. And you can actually get by without the immortal set on, even, and just have the regen set on for when you're on the normal one. But when you get into the Doom Tower Hard, and even the Doom Tower Hard, the first one, you can get through it without the immortal set. But that high level one, he needs that other 3% to be able to get him through it. He also needs the speed, because without that speed, he's not going to cycle through quick enough to be able to do this. But he's a great champ. But when people would ask me, well, how should I gear up to Rog him? I'm like, well, where do you want to use him at? You want to use him in the Doom Tower to kill the Scarab King? Or do you want to use him or do you want the most benefit out of him in Clan Boss and you don't care about Scarab King? So your gear is depending on where you're going to sit down and use him at. And so when you sit down and you see one of these videos, and I make or somebody else make, and they show you the gear, they show you the speeds, and they show you everything they got, well, that's for that particular area. That's not for somewhere else, because he may survive, he may be okay, it may do fairly good, but there are better gears that you could optimize for other areas. It's just like Silver Drake. Silver Drake can actually go in, and even on Doom Tower Hard, the very first one, she can actually go in and she can solo the Nether Spider. And I haven't took her all the way through yet, but I think, with a good set of lifesteal gear on, she could probably do all of them. Because what you do is I did this on my alt, but my main account, I got a team that can go through the Nether Spider really quick, really easy. But on my alt, I didn't have a team that could do that. But if you put enough resist on her so she doesn't get those poisons much, and then you go through, and you've got a lot of defense on her, and she's not going to take that much. She's going to take a lot of damage from the mother spider, but with a lot of defense, a lot of HP, she can live through even that mother spider's attack and those poisons. And then when she hits really hard, so she can actually heal herself back up, and then she's got that 10% heal on top of that, and she can actually kill your Nether Spider for you, even on Doom Tower Hard if you need that. But you would gear her with the lifesteal gear on, because she would be the only one in there doing that. Now, if you were going to sit down and you were going to use her for like Clan Boss, which I did a long time ago when I first started, and she can do a good bit of damage with an increased defense up all the time, because I had Black Knight. He keeps the increased defense up 100% of the time, and she can do over 100k a hit when you have her where she's got 100% crit rate, some decent crit damage, and she has a lot of defense. And of course, back then, this is basically the gear I had from back in. I haven't really re-geared her because I don't use her as much anymore. But if I were going to re-gear her, I would have a lot more crit damage than what she's got. But she could do over 100k worth of damage. Well, yeah, it heals her up real well, but it's not doing anything for your party. So if you were going to stick her into Clan Boss, I wouldn't put this on her. I would put a Relentless set on her. Why? Because Relentless counts as an extra turn. So when you go the second turn, when you do get a second turn on Relentless, or sometime a third or fourth, every time that passive is giving you 10% heal to the party. So you're healing your party up, not just her. And that's much more beneficial than just healing just her alone, because she's also going to get that 20 and 30% heal every time she goes. So it would make your party stay alive a lot better. But like I said, your gear is dependent upon where you're using them at. So when you watch a video and you gear it up like for a video and they're showing you how to do maybe like a Doom Tower boss, or you're doing like a clan boss or something, but then you go to arena and it doesn't work real well. That's because your gear is dependent on where you're using it at. That's the reason a lot of people, they have champ for certain areas, and then they use other champs in different areas like that. And it's just like with Hydra. If you can actually get your resist over about 350 and your accuracy over 350, your debuffs stick every time. You don't get those poisons, you don't get those provokes, and you can do a lot more damage and go a lot longer, because that guy that poisoned, he poisons like the Hydra head, he poisons like 4 poisons. So you're losing 20% 2 rounds. That's 40% of your HP. So that's huge. And he'll sometimes he poisons 2 times in a row. Sometimes you've got 8 poisons. So if you don't have a cleanser up, or your cleanser is out of that cycle where he's going like last instead of first, you're getting a lot of poisons. And even if sometimes, I'll cleanse it, but then he poisons you right back again. So you still wind up, with 40% or 50% loss just from the poisons. So if you get your resist high, you can not have to worry about any of that. And a lot of people that score really well in Hydra is because they got characters with high resist, they got high accuracy, they keep the debuffs, and that high resist keeps you from getting those buffs being stolen too. So if they're not stealing those increased attacks off from you, and all that other stuff that they steal from you, it helps tremendously in Hydra to have a really high resist team. But that's because you have to gear your guys for what the situation is. But guys, that's the video. I want to thank everybody for watching. Everybody have a good day, and please remember to subscribe to the channel.